Thank you very much. The first speaker is Mr. Casa for 2 minutes, representing the EPP group.
Grazie, Sir President.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioner. First and foremost, I would like to thank this Parliament. Thank you for 8 years you were alongside the people of Malta and Gozo, and thank you for continuing to honour Daphne Caruana Galizia's memory today. What we've managed to achieve thus far is the fruit of this Chamber's scrutiny, and it would be remiss to say that changes have not been made. For example, low-level criminals responsible for the assassination were sent to prison. Our ways of appointing a judiciary have changed, and European laws have been enacted to protect journalists. Nonetheless, there is still much to be done. Daphne's family is still awaiting the court's decision on the alleged mastermind. There have been recommendations passed for a public inquiry, an inquiry which this Parliament time and time again has insisted on. None of these recommendations have been taken into consideration. One such recommendation is to overcome our culture of impunity. But again, nothing has been done. Colleagues, justice for Daphne means justice for the crimes resulting in her death, preventing her investigative work. But 8 years on, following this assassination, we still have no concrete answer to this corruption which she revealed, and we have not learned our lessons on the importance of journalism and democracy either. Just last week, during her anniversary, an employee from the office of the Prime Minister discarded the flowers on Daphne's memorial. It's embarrassing. This was condemned by several European embassies, but received no condemnation from our Prime Minister. And yes, there is still much to be done in our country, but even on a global scale. There are people who still do not believe that journalists face a problem of threats, but you can just look at Gaza to see what's happening. Let us help journalists to continue doing their work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Mr. Agius Saliba for 1 minute and a half, representing the S&D group.
Grazie, Sir President.
Thank you, President. I would like to start by quoting a speech from the Maltese Chief Justice, who said, "Thank you to the Minister of Justice who has always listened to my suggestions to strengthen our courts. We always respected each other on the basis of our constitutional roles." These are the words of the Maltese Chief Justice. Therefore, why are we attacking Malta once again? Even the title of this very debate, Delayed Justice. Delayed justice when there are 5 people accused for this assassination. There's still one pending trial, still in courts. So what is the European Parliament proposing? What are they expecting? Should our Prime Minister, Roberta Bela, hasten the process in courts? You would condemn that if that happened. Rule of law in Malta is backsliding when in our Parliament every month we are enacting new legislation to strengthen our courts. We also increase the tools for our judiciary. We're also allowing independent authorities to choose figures in our judiciary. It's the Nationalist Party that is the problem. For long years, they didn't want the law on the financing of parties, and they refuse to publish their accounts. According to Maltese law, the Nationalist Party is not even recognized as a party in our country, according to the law. So they need to sort their own things before criticizing others.
Speaker is
The death of Daphne Caruana Galizia is absolutely condemnable, but you don't have to be a professor of law to recognize that Malta has made great leaps forward in justice and in freedom of the media and freedom of expression. There are challenges in Malta and across Europe, but to say that Malta is backsliding is sheer deceit. So when will we finally be happy with the work being done with a new nationalist government, perhaps? Because they put their power over the country. And they have their colleagues who are working against Malta in this parliament. I will say this very gladly. They're trying to lecture us. They and their colleagues are trying to lecture us on what we're doing. But no parliamentarian who is afraid to say the word genocide should not lecture on to Malta what they should be doing.
If you want to accept it, it's coming from Garcia Armida.
Thank you, colleague, for taking my blue card. First of all, I would like to repeat what some colleagues have said. This parliament is not acting against the Maltese people. The Maltese people is a European people and deserve our protection, just like in any other member states, and that's what we're doing here. And now my question, you say there's no backsliding in Malta. How do you explain that in the corruption perception index, Malta has dropped with 5 places since 2023? A quite steep decline. Thank you.
Well, rather than a matter of perception, I like to base myself on facts. And in Malta, you don't wake up a lawyer and then just meet the Prime Minister like it's nothing. You don't just go to the Prime Minister to get a favor. The Prime Minister does not appoint himself as president. We don't favor drug barons, so I'm talking about facts, not perceptions. Malta is making strides forward. There is still much yet to be done, but we will not take any lessons from a parliament that refuses to utter the word genocide.
Mrs. Garcia de Armida has the right to answer. Yes.
Thank you, Chair, for allowing me the right to answer. 30 seconds. You say that the corruption perception index is not facts, but it is, from Transparency International, the most respected index to measure corruption and its perception among citizens, which is important to us as representatives of the people. How can you say that that index does not reflect facts? What index would you like to choose instead of that one? Thank you.
You have 30 seconds more.
Well, again, I base myself on facts. There have been many reforms in our country in several sectors, especially the judiciary. And even the case we were talking about today, the death of Daphne Caruana Galizia. There is still one trial ongoing after all the progress that has been made. Again, I will say that there is still much to be done and respect European institutions. But if we're going to talk about El Greco, for example, I would like to say that the previous government spent 25 whole years refusing to implement Greco's recommendations to introduce a whistleblower act. But now they're in opposition, and to this day, this same party refuses to publish their own accounts. I and the absolute majority of Maltese people are not in favor.
Year after year, this parliament has been asked to debate this macabre murder. At the same time, and amongst others, there has been an attempted car bomb attack on Sigfrido Ranucci in Rome and the murder of 272 journalists in Gaza. All of this continues to show that journalism, the search for the truth, is under threat everywhere. I believe that everyone wants justice, just like how we as Maltese have been working towards justice in Malta. It is time that us, as Europeans, work towards justice for every journalist. If we really want to give justice to Daphne, to all journalists, and not through rule of law only when it suits us, let us go beyond partisan politics, beyond the EPP against the socialist governments and nationalists and Labourites in Malta. Instead, we need to give hope to people, not peak and confrontation. Let us protect all journalists in the search for the truth. We always need to be together and not according to needs in our fight towards European justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next...
To defend the indefensible, trying to defend Malta. But in actual fact, they are defending the actions of those who abuse power, defending the people who took away the candles from Daphne's memorial because this reality is too comfortable for them. Daphne exposed the truth, and her truth sinks deep into our consciousness of those who do not want a public inquiry that deals with unexplained wealth. So why are we so against this inquiry? Her truth haunts us. It haunts the people who were involved in pipeline works with the company 17 Black and people who want to steal millions of euros from our hospitals. Daphne does not scare us because we truly love Malta the same way she loved Malta. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we are moving to the Catch the Eye. We have 4 speakers. Please